Fighting Talk back again in today. I'm delighted to be joined by Charles Joyner ahead of his bout against Mattia Faroni on Oktagon Superfights on November 26th. Charles, they're billing it is the second time. It's not quite for fans who maybe didn't catch what happened in the first one. Can you sort of explain it from your side what happened?
Well, we almost got there. Basically, weighed in, had like a really big sort of weigh-in in front of the Coliseum, so it was a cool experience. There's a lot of like theatrics there, and everyone looked pretty game. And then got to the venue and started warming up in the ring. And then the promoter pulled me aside and basically just said that the doctors aren't allowing him to fight because a heart sort of issue had come up after the weigh-in. So I think the weight cut had been the problem. I think, to be fair, he did look like. So he doesn't look pretty, I feel like I'm a lot bigger than him, but I think he just struggled with the weight cut. So I don't know if he hadn't been that disciplined during camp or he just left it all to the last minute. But he did look like he struggled with the weight cut. And I think that had resulted in some sort of heart issue. And they basically pulled the fight then. So it's not really a rematch, but they're making it number 2 because I guess there's a bit of history there. So it makes it sound better, doesn't it? But
You mentioned there was the weight that they believe was the issue for that heart. So this is now considerably a higher weight.
Yeah.
How does that benefit you, disadvantage you, benefit him, disadvantage him in your sort of opinion?
I think, to be honest, my fights that I'd had over here have been at 100 kilos, and I walk around 96, 97. Although Fisher reckons I'm about 105, but I'm definitely 97. But so I think they wanted to get it at 80. It was at 88.5 before. I think they wanted to deplete me a bit, but I can make 85 pretty easy. So for me, and I'm professional with the weight cut. I'm professional, I'm disciplined in camp, so it didn't really affect me. So I think it's probably a bit better for him because if he's not that disciplined and professional, then he doesn't have to worry about the weight. But I think for me, it just allows me to be a bit bigger. I can fuel myself all camp, and I'm the bigger guy anyway, so it just means I can crack in my shots a little bit harder.
I mean, I know you're no stranger to training, certainly with bigger guys. I'm sure fans will recognise you from that Tom Aspinall fight heading into the Volkov. I mean, stature very similar to Volkov. Yeah. You're up here now, you've got Phil DeFries in this gym, you're training a lot with Justin Burlinson as well. In England, what's the training standard been like for you? And I believe you've made this home now as well in the northeast, have you not?
Yeah, so living in Sunderland now and training up here full time. But it's really good. I mean, I trained down in Liverpool before, had really good training there, and then moved up here with Justin. And we've got like a wealth of talent in the gym. And for me, I think Fisher at the helm of it, just the way he takes the sessions and his mindset of training, like it really fits in with mine, with how I like to train, which is just basically focusing on details, technique, and improving that way. And then for sparring, like you said, we've got those big guys. We've also got, good striking sparring, people like Jamie Bates, Juan Cervantes, who's about to fight for one championship again. Big Mattias from Leeds as well. And so I mean, it's really good training up here, so can't complain at all. And I feel like I'm just learning and improving all the time.
If we look ahead then to November the 26th, 10, 11 fights between you two guys, not a vast amount of experience between you. What do you make of Mattia, the guys he's fought, and what sort of fight you expect him to bring?
I think he's definitely tricky and he's talented. He's really famous in Italy. I think the Italians really get behind their fighters. I think it's going to be a hostile environment. I think in terms of who he's fought before, from when I've seen him, I think he hasn't fought anyone on my level, and that brings what I bring, and it's really hard to replicate that with sparring. So I think that advantage will always go to me. I think I've definitely had tougher fights. I mean, I always try and fight the best. I mean, like the last guy I beat over here, Jacob Doman, who actually I'm trying to get him up for some sparring because we built a bit of a friendship since our fight. But he was 47-0 before I fought him. So those are sort of people that I'm trying to fight, and I think even with me, he's probably it's for a world title, and he's probably looked at my record and gone, oh, he's still pretty young in his career compared to some other names that I could have got. So they're trying to capitalize on that. Whereas I'm just want to take the opportunities and fight the hard fights now, so that I can get as much experience as possible and just grow from it. So
Look, as you say, this is for a world title, and you are still relatively young in your career. How proud are you to be already fighting for world titles so soon in your career?
Yeah, I think obviously proud of it. I always knew that it would come, and I always knew that that's what I'd be doing, because I'd sort of put that out there, and that's how I approach my training. But I think world title, but I'm also like very aware that it's just another fight. I mean, I fought for a world title in July, and I was doing pretty well in that one. I took that one on, 3 weeks notice, and I was doing well, and I just woke up in the back room about 10 minutes later. But so even that, it's just good experience that for me, because I know that I'm at that world level. I just made a little mistake, and then I've had 4 or 5 months of just improving that, and I feel like I've just leveled up even more. So I feel like I was at a world title level in July, and now I've just come back to the gym and just take myself to newer heights. So yeah.
Look, you've mentioned it, of course, that last time out didn't go your way. For me personally, I thought it was great. When you were on social media, there was no excuses, there was nothing. You were like, look, I got caught, I've been beat, that is what it is.
Yeah.
I was just speaking to Fisher about this before. How important do you find the mental aspect of combat sports is, as well as the physical? Because we all know what you're getting in there to do. You're going in there to have a fight. But that mental aspect, how important do you think that is as well?
I think it's everything, because I've seen so many cases of people that have all the physical gifts. They look amazing in the gym. They smash everyone in the gym. Then when it comes to the fight, they just crumble under the lights a little bit. So, and then you'll have people that aren't as good in the gym, aren't as physically gifted, and then when it comes to the fights, they just turn up and they've just got a strong mentality, and they'll beat people that are way better fighters than them. Like there are so many people that have the ability to be at the very top level, but they just don't have the mentality that gets them there. So I think it's everything. Like to be at the top, you got to have both. Like there's no two ways about it. But I think mentality can make up for not having the physical attributes. Because I feel like for myself, I was never particularly athletically gifted when I was younger, or I don't think I was naturally a good fighter. Like I started pretty late, but I just trained really hard and just believed in myself, and here we are now. So yeah, I think it's everything.
Finally then, Charles, for fans who maybe haven't seen you fight, what can they expect from a Charles Joyner performance, and can I get a prediction off you for November the 26th?
Yeah, I think for me, I try and fight smart, so high IQ fights, try and limit the mistakes, and I think earlier in my career I was more, I was getting the rounds in and I was winning decisions, and I was just, fighting smart fights. But what I'm finding now is that I'm doing that. I'm wearing people down. I'm looking for the finish, and then I just know when I can finish them, and I can just find those openings. So I think similar to my other fights here and recently, I'll figure him out, drag him into the deep waters, probably finish him 4th or 5th rounds, and just silence the home crowd.
Perfect. Charles, thank you very much for your time.